Jazz came to us and our missions really aligned with what we wanted to do, where we wanted to make an impact in the autism community, and the Jazz realized that there was a need in the community as well. We had a really clear vision of what we wanted in there. We wanted a space for individuals on the autism spectrum with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We wanted a place for them to come that was calm, a place that they could breathe, and really just feel at home in a space where they generally would not feel comfortable. In the room, there really is something for everyone. So some of our favorite things in the room, the bubble tube, that's a crowd pleaser, absolutely. And then we've got the LED panels, which have the marble wall and the stargazing panel. And these are things that we see in a room that's really chaotic. We see kids connect with these things and really are able to tune everything else out and really calm down and focus in on what's going on. We had a dad come into the room with his 7-year-old right after the room opened, and this dad had a dream his whole life, or for his son's whole life, to be able to take him to a Jazz game, and they'd never been able to do that, and brought his son in, and he was so grateful that they were able to make it for 1/4 of the game. And for me, that's what it's about. It's just 1/4, one game, one moment. Just being able to create that opportunity for these families that we love so much. So.
We made a conscious decision as for a business need in Utah to start this PWD initiative and to hire people with disabilities and specifically autism, because it makes sense for our business.
So this is one of the strategies that we're using to find good labor, people who can do the job, that want to do the job. As a father of a child with disabilities, I can only hope and pray that there's another employer out there that is working to build something similar for my son Charlie. Charlie's a fantastic kid, and I know that whatever employer gets to have him in their building will be a lucky, lucky company. It's a 9-week training program that the associates will enter into, and they'll spend half of their time in class learning things like soft skills. They'll be learning social skills. The other 50% of their time will be spent out on the floor actually learning the functions of the job. And the jobs that they could be learning are anything from picking orders or packing the customer order or retail store orders and prepping the orders. One of the things that I know is going to happen as we employ more people with autism is I think the sense of humor around here is going to change significantly, in that I think it's going to go up quite a bit. The other day he was asking me which L in the name Lloyd, which L is silent? And I had to think about that for a minute, and I said, well gosh, I suppose it would be the second one is silent. He said, no Dad, I think it's the first one. It's got to be the first one is silent.
Sephora's mission is to inspire fearlessness, and we take that very seriously as a team. And this initiative is, like I said, it's a business decision, but it's the right thing to do. And we are excited about the ability to launch this on a scale that we have not seen in this area. And we want everyone to get on board. We want people to feel this vision and to jump in and support and help make this work, because I think this is going to blow everyone's mind. All these boxes, and we were able to come up with a large dollar amount to support, and actually doubled our previous number that we did. And it was so exciting to present that to Cheryl and the ACU in person. It was one of my favorite days at Sephora in 10 years, and it was a real treat.
From the beginning, I think it was like a fever that I caught. I was recognized as an expert there was a lot of research going on and that I knew the clinical world pretty well, I decided to learn the science of genetics, and in the process of doing that, my first big grant from 92 to 97 retrained me in genetics, and that opened a whole new way of helping it. In 2002 to start URAD, the Utah Registry for Autism Developmental Disabilities. That was really fun. It was just amazing to see the progress that could be made, and to feel the camaraderie with other scientists and families in trying to make the future better. There are many things that keep me going, but probably the most important is the inspiration I get from the heroism of parents and of adults with autism in finding their way in the world and in trying to help others.
And I wouldn't be doing this work if it wasn't for the support I've received from Dr. McMahon over the years.
And Elliot and I and the late Dr. Bruce Parsons were co-founders of Optimizing Autism.
And you have really led the university's efforts and looking at how we could make life different for our adults with autism.
Bill is such a warm and supportive individual.
In earlier days, I used to kid Bill and tell him that I raised him from a pup. But you know, he grew up to be a very nice pit bull.
I was young and eager, and I spent afternoons, evenings, weekends, driving all over the state, meeting people. And usually in the car, and Bill Jensen and I would throw spitballs and occasionally a hand grenade just to liven things up, and it was just a marvelous experience.
He and Bill Jensen are the 1-2 punch for autism.
You are the cornerstone of our entire autism research program from the very beginning.
One day Cheryl Smith asked me, could I be the hood ornament for Autism Council of Utah? And I thought about it, and I thought, well, it's a pretty good car. I would be happy to just stand up and look pretty. And the unpredictability of outcome has been fascinating to me, but also the richness of the lives of all of us who encounter people with autism of every ability level. So I think there's hope always that tomorrow will be better and 10 years will be better yet.
You set the seeds in place for Utah to become part of the CDC's ADAM network.
And we were able to create a day-long workshop for parents and caretakers and providers of individuals with autism across the age span. It was one of the best things I've done, and it was so much fun because I got to show off Utah to my colleagues from around the world.
So I just want to congratulate you and thank you for all that you have done for the university, for our state, and particularly for me.
He has made a huge difference in his ability to see a problem, to want to do something about it, and to excite other researchers in pursuing their interests in autism. He just keeps growing with the kids and learning what the new problems are and looking for and advocating for solutions. Bill, you are amazing.
So I nominated Mrs. Palmer for this award because she's a fun teacher, number one. She's so great with all of the students, but she's especially great with students with disabilities and special needs. Always positive, always willing to do whatever she can to make sure they feel part of the classroom and successful in her classroom.
We are here today from the Autism Council of Utah. Your principal nominated you this year for the Autism Council of Utah Educator of the Year. So your teacher was chosen as the best teacher in the whole state of Utah for kids with autism.
We're always excited to see it go to a general educator who works hard for kids, puts things in place, supports kids. We're just excited.
So we tried to personalize her learning to the things that she needs and her learning styles. And we've done a lot of data and been able to be, number one, very super patient and loving, and just love her for who she is.
She works so hard, both in class and out of class. At home, she's constantly focused on her students, especially those with not just autism but other needs.
She has a special spot where she can go if she needs a break. And she also has a little bit more time on her assignments and being able to accommodate her need to be able to have that and being able to have breaks when she needs.
Mrs. Palmer is just absolutely a top-notch educator, and she cares about all the kids and pays attention to every single one.
That one of our teachers would be recognized in helping children with autism.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Palmer. Good job going out of your way and recognizing a need for one of your special students. Mrs. Palmer! Mrs. Palmer! Woo!
And here at the center we provide intensive behavioral and academic supports to children who have been diagnosed with autism. Most often we work with children who are more on the severe end of the autism spectrum. These children often have severe challenging behaviors and a co-occurring intellectual disabilities which require intensive supports. We work diligently with our staff and have a great passion in serving these children and helping their families have a better quality of life.
So at the Pingree Center, we get to be part of such an amazing program that's been around as one of the first for autism in the state of Utah. I think what really brings the staff here every day, and the reason that I find it so rewarding, is because we really truly get to see change in children. We get to help families. There's nothing more amazing than hearing a family talk about hearing their child say mom and dad for the first time, or I love you for the first time, or hearing that they're no longer hitting siblings because they can actually say what they want or need. It's just priceless, and that's what keeps all of us coming back every day to work with these kids, because it's probably as fulfilling for us as it is hopefully for the kids we serve and their families.
At Pingree we provide services based in applied behavior analysis. We individualize and tailor services to each child's needs. So some children may receive more intensive one-to-one therapy, while some children may receive group services. We provide direct instruction through discrete trial training and have a myriad of reinforcers and motivating activities to help these children learn and gain the skills they need to become successful adults one day.
Love working with the most unique, amazing, cutest kids on the planet.
Our goal is for most of our students to go back into their home school district and continue to receive services through their local school. But in the case that they continue to need intensive supports, we continue to provide that continuum of supports through the age of 21. This past week we had our autism walk, and watching all the families get so excited that we were recognizing Autism Awareness Day and providing the scholarships to the families that we do through Do Your Blue, and getting to give those families those awards and letting them know they get to come back to Pingree and that they will get to continue to receive the amazing state-of-the-art services we provide.
Very exciting things that we have happening with the Pingree programs is expansion into adult services. Pingree was one of the first programs around in the late 70s for kids with autism, the little itty-bitty preschoolers, and what we've recognized is that there is a major need for services for adults, particularly adults on the more severe end of the spectrum who need 24/7 support, help in just daily living skills, vocational skills, pre-vocational skills. And so we have purchased land. We are in the process of starting construction on a brand new facility where we're going to be able to serve these adults and transition our adults from here, as well as serve other adults from the community.
Knowing that there was a weight on my shoulders to make sure that I did a good job and that I represented accurately and appropriately. So it was a good feeling, but also there was that strong sense of I have a job. The operation I did was before auditions. I did a lot of research on just autism in general, his character specifically. I watched a lot of videos on how other people played him.
And what I love about the script is it nowhere in the script does it deal with Christopher, the main star, dealing, and that's a lack of a better term, with his life, but rather everyone around him loving him and accepting him and taking the best of what he has to offer for the community and create magic.
Honestly, developed a sense of character based on my own interaction with people with autism, just kind of seeing how that worked, and just did my best.
Anytime I told someone, colleagues, friends of mine in the theater community that I was doing this production, I was met with such trepidation of, I can't believe you're doing this show, it's too hard.
Well, I learned a lot, honestly, just about autism in general and how people who have autism, like how their minds work and just what their life is like.
And what I'm the most proud of these students, these student actors, is never giving up, wanting it to be hard, and then succeeding on the challenge.